Rightio, so just continuing on with where we were up to there, we're at Lacey's alpaca farm, and we had just worked out that line PQ was 398.51 metres. We've been asked about the total perimeter, so the total distance around the outside, so we now need to add that to those other three edges that we've got, the 285, the 310 and the 280. So add them all together, and you're going to end up with 1273.51 metres, okay? And you would actually probably write all those sides down, 398.51 plus 285 plus 310 plus whatever the other one was, and that's what you end up getting. So you then write your little sentence. So the distance around the outside is 1273.51 metres. Okay, so you got a little sentence there. All right. Question 3, what is the size of the 4 other angles in the diagram? All right, so the first thing that I would do here is draw your diagram again nice and clearly, especially like for me with the screen, I can't see the top of it very clearly, and you don't want to be flicking back and forth or scrolling up and down all the time. So I've just redrawn the diagram with all the numbers that I now know. So that includes those 2 lengths that I've found. So we want to find some of these angles inside our triangles. And to be honest, you could pick probably any one of them and then see which rule would work well. It could be that you can't see any rule that would work, and that's okay. If that happens, then try another angle. Okay, so I'm going to start off by looking at this angle up here. And the way that we're going to label that angle there is we call that angle SPR or angle RPS. But whichever way around it goes, the idea is that it's from here to here to here. Okay, so it clearly tells us, and that P is in the middle. Okay, so it tells us the angle is there at P, and that it's between S and R, those 2 lengths. Because, you know, P could also be between Q and R. That would be a completely different angle. All right, so we'll do this wee guy first. Angle SPR. All right, what can we do with him? So we could use the sine rule, couldn't we? That and that, that and that. That could work. We could use the cosine rule actually, but I know that we've actually used the cosine rule quite a lot so far. So I want to show off, because the point of this too is you want to show off how much you know and that you know all these different rules. So let's use the sine rule for this one. Sine rule, finding an angle. Now, oh, actually, we haven't used cosine rule for finding an angle yet, have we? But we have used sine rule for finding an angle. So let's use the cosine rule for finding an angle. So again, you do want to show off. That's when you're doing your assessment, you want to show that you can do as many of the different skills as possible. So, you know, if you could use the sine rule for every question, try not to. If there's a choice between the sine rule and the cosine rule, for example, choose the cosine rule if you've already used the sine rule heaps, okay? You want to show off what you can do. So let's use the cosine rule for finding angles, eh? So what have we got? So first step is write out what that rule is. So the cosine rule for finding an angle, and you'll have this, of course, on your reference sheet, eh? Which is pretty cool. 2BC. All right, so you've got that wee guy there. So we're going to be using this and this, aren't we? And our other length is that one there. That's going to be A, because that's opposite this, which in effect is our capital A, isn't it? It's the angle that we're trying to find. Okay, so and you guys can decide, you could call it A if you like, to keep it looking like it does in the formula, or you could call it SPR, okay, because it's the labeling. Okay, so long as it's clear and you've told us if you're going to start using A, there's no A's in the actual diagram, so you'd need to make it really clear what angle you're actually talking about. All right, so see, even doing it with a wee line like that, pointing to it, even that's you know, that's good. You've got to make it super clear. All right, anyway, so cos of A equals 285 squared plus 383 squared minus 310 squared. Okay, the B and C doesn't matter which way round they are or which one's which, but of course it does matter which one your A is. It's got to be the one opposite the angle that you're trying to find. Alright, so work out that whole goodie, and remember you've got to be super careful with your calculator. So I'm going to do 285 squared plus 383 squared minus 310 squared. Then I'm going to push equals. I'm going to write that number down. 131814. There are a few different ways that you could attack this type of question, okay? And then I'm going to work out what that bottom number is, what that denominator is. So 2 times 285 times 383. So that's 218310. And now I can do my top divided by my bottom. Divided by 218310. You could, of course, also, and sometimes I do this, where I type in my top, I push equals for that numerator on the top, push equals, then do divide by and put brackets around that whole denominator. So bracket 2 times 285 times 383. And we talked about this when we did the cosine rule in class. Okay, anyway, so we're at 0.6. Remember, that's what cos A equals. We want A by itself, so we need to do inverse cos of that. So shift cos of our answer is 52.86 degrees, and I've rounded that to 2 decimal places. Okay, so that's working out what that angle in there is, SPR. So yay, we've worked out that one. Now remember, you do not have to use fancy rules for every single angle, because angles in a triangle always add up to, and you want to remember this rule, angles in a triangle always add up to 180 degrees altogether. Okay, those 3 angles, always, always, always. That's a helpful thing to know, because if you've got a question like this where it wants you to find all the angles, we can use that right now. So that means in that triangle here, and let's just highlight it with purple, I've got 80 degrees, I've got 52.86, and I've got something else. To find that something else, it's got to add up to 80 altogether. So to find this guy here, and that would be, we'd label that angle PRS. Okay, R is in the middle because it's in the middle and it's got P and S as the 2 lengths from it. So to find that guy, we can just do 180 minus 80 minus 52.86. All right, so that's, oops, type things into my calculator properly, 52.86. And we get 47.14. Oops, there's a 1 there. 47.14 degrees. Okay, so there we go. We've done 2 of the 4 already. That second one, quite easy. Our fourth one will also be easy like that too. So let's do those ones now. So let's look now at angle RPQ. Can we do that one? We could use the sine rule for that maybe. So this guy up, I've got to try and use some different colours. It's getting pretty colourful. This guy here. Okay, RPQ. So angle PQ. We could do the sine rule, couldn't we? We could do that over 280 and then do the sine of 72 over 398.51. So let's do that. Sine A over 280 equals sine 72 over 398.51. All right, calculator out. Sine of 72 equals, divided by 398.51 equals, times 280 equals, so we're up to this part, sine A is 0.668. So A, shift sine of our answer, must be 41.93 degrees. Okay, 41.93 degrees. All right, sweet. And so our last one, again, angles in a triangle always add up to 180. Let's use purple again for that one then. So So angle, that is going to be PQR, isn't it? PQR, it's got Q in the middle, equals 180 minus 72 minus 41.93. 180 minus 72 minus 41.93, and we get 66.07 degrees. Yay, we did it. Okay, so that's all our 4 angles. It's juicy and meaty, isn't it? But, you know, if you had done either of these tasks, so if we go back to the top one here and have a wee look at the roof truss, you've showed off using the cos rule that you can find a side with the cos rule, and then you've showed off that you can use the sine rule to find an angle. That's achieved. That's enough for achieved. Okay. Then here with Lacey's alpaca farm, this could be a separate assessment. You've showed us that you can find a length with the cosine rule. You've then done another length with the cosine rule. We've got finding an angle with the cosine rule and finding an angle with the sine rule. So again, a good solid achieved it would be for that second one if you've done it. All right, so cool. Thank you, guys. Do email me if you've got any questions, eh? Cool. Cheers.